Joining us right now on Can I Media is Wayne Pardy. You're with a company called Quality Plus out of Newfoundland.
That's correct.
And so why are you here?
I guess my session this week was to look at the issue of Heinrich Deconstructed, the theories of accident causation within our workplaces. And I guess his work was written in 1931, has been subsequently dismissed by a lot of different safety practitioners. But a recent book, which has come onto the market, which is called Redressing the Balance, Common Sense Approach to Accident Causation, has actually not only reaffirmed Heinrich's original work, but has sort of taken it to the next level to revalidate that what Heinrich wrote in 31 is still as valid and applicable today.
So do you think it's still valid?
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about his theory.
Theory of accident causation was that, and he came up with a ratio that said of for any accident within the workplace, 88% will be as a result of human behavior, 10% sort of equipment or mechanical failures, the other 2% acts of God. Various people have looked at those ratios over the years, including DuPont, behavioral science technology. Different recent work indicates that as many as 88% or 98%, of all accidents are a result of human behavior. Human behavior, in terms of looking at causation, doesn't mean we blame the worker, doesn't mean fault of the worker. But many of the alternatives to Heinrich indicated that management failure or management and organizations were the cause of accidents. I guess our research and our evidence indicates that's not the case, is that people have accidents. As to the reasons why they have accidents and why they did particular things that they did that caused accidents, good question. And those are the things that I guess that we still need to explore and to look at in greater detail. But if we don't acknowledge that people are having accidents and it's their behavior that's contributing to and causing that focus, it's like the elephant in the room. Nobody wants to acknowledge it's there, and as a result we're looking somewhere else to hopefully solve that problem. We need to look at people, and it's a people issue.
But it sounds like it's been a people issue since the 30s, when Heinrich first came out with this.
It's been a people issue since the 30s. However, various other academics, other safety practitioners have, I guess in their attempt to sort of elevate the profession and to make it, give it more credibility, have come with other theories with respect to accident causation. So there are 15, 20 different theories available right now in terms of accident causation. The problem with those theories is they are just that, they're theories, until they're proven that they're not theories. With Difford's book on Common Sense Approach to Accident Causation, those theories have been disproven. So he's actually reaffirmed the theory that human behavior, suitably defined, will be the cause of any incident. Humans maintain our equipment, they design our equipment, they construct our equipment, they execute it and implement it and maintain it. It's not the equipment that's causing the problems. It's people, it's relationships, it's human behavior. That's not a condemnation of people, it's not a fault-finding issue, it's not saying that we're blaming people, it's a statement of fact. And unless we acknowledge that statement of fact, we'll continue to I guess execute our prevention programs and all kinds of other approaches without focusing on what the real recipient of that our efforts need to be, which is the workers.
Do you find that, I mean, in today's society, does it seem as though more attention is being taken off the workers when it comes to being at fault for something?
Yeah, it depends on the perspective. I find in a lot of cases that regulators will take that emphasis that it's the organization or it's management that's the cause, and they'll focus a lot of activity and attention to managers, organizations to firm up or increase their prevention strategies. But most of the legislation across this country is written to look at things and equipment and machinery. And things, equipment and machinery, don't cause problems. But if that legislation is focusing on that 10%, as I said before, the 80-10-20 principle, where do you think we're going to get the most of our improvement? So they're not focusing on the people and the people relationships and the people interaction. They're focusing on materials, they're focusing on equipment, they're focusing on physical conditions. People work within those conditions. It still takes an unsafe act within a perfectly safe working environment to cause an incident. So that's where I guess many of the people are moving, that within Heinrich's focus of accident causation, within his focus of people being the focus of our prevention efforts, legislation doesn't look a lot at people. It looks at equipment, materials, facilities, tools. Those aren't the issues. We need to look at people and the engagements and the relationships we have with them and their interaction with those tools and that environment. That's what we need to look at.
Does it have to do maybe with people not wanting to take responsibility for these accidents?
There may be some of that as well, and again I think a lot of that has to do with some of the things that we've done as a safety profession, whereby we've actually, when we said human behavior, we've equated that with blame or responsibility, and accountability versus blame are two different things. In my business I see both culpable and non-typable types of behavior which contribute to accidents. Culpable being, I know the difference, I know the standard, I know the expectations, I'm intentionally going above and beyond that process. Non-culpable means I'm not sure what to do here, I don't have the tools, the training, I'm uncertain. So we found the two, and I will tell you that both of them need to be addressed, but both of them need to be addressed differently. Is that if I intentionally go outside of the system that's being created for me, versus whether I'm using the system, but I don't have the knowledge or skill set to use it the way it was intended. Those are two different things. Still human behavior, but we still have to look at them differently, I think.
You talk about equipment. Obviously, you can't blame equipment for it if it's maintained properly, but equipment can also help enhance a safe environment.
Absolutely, and but again, my point would be with who maintains the equipment. First of all, we go back to the equipment design. Who's designed it? And if we look at the Mancando accident in the Gulf of Mexico in terms of Cameron and Schlumberger and Transocean, and looking at those BOPs and those well preventers, it all goes back to the question of faulty design and who designed it and what were the QA/QC processes associated with the design before that product was released to the customer. So no question in terms of equipment and materials being important, but I would suggest that people design equipment, people manufacture equipment, people put equipment in place, they set up schedules to maintain that equipment. That equipment is only going to be effective as the degree to which people are designing, maintaining, implementing, and putting that equipment into play. So the equipment doesn't have a mind of its own. It doesn't think, it doesn't have an opinion, doesn't talk back. It does what you design it to do. It does what you've maintained it to do.
Wayne, thank you very much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
We've been chatting with Wayne Pardy with Quality Plus from Newfoundland right here on Can I Media.